Hi everyone, Letty here. Today I have a quick little craft with me. I'm going to do a quick and easy tutorial for the Easy Flow journal that I just showcased in a previous video where I did a 12x12 smash. So welcome back everyone. I had this Easy Flow journal that I had made as part of my 12x12 smash just a couple days ago. And so somebody had asked me if I had a tutorial. I do not, but it's so easy that I wanted to just show you really quickly with some paper that I had in my stash. So this is just a really quick, flat, easy journal. This was very much inspired by my friend Tobey, who's Biddy Penny here on YouTube. And so I took out one sheet of 12x12 paper. This is Be Happy by Echo Park, and it is double-sided. Double-sided tends to work best for this project because you want to be able to see the inside pattern as well on the inside of your journal. I have 10 sheets of copyweight paper. You can use more or less just depending on what you want. I just had an even amount just so I could mass produce these in my last project. Then I'm using a 4x4 cut apart and a 4 1/4 square mat of gold cardstock that I'm going to use just to very easily decorate the front. I also have a cut apart. It's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. I'm going to use that to make a pocket on the inside of my journal. And I have some additional cut aparts that I'm going to add into the actual pocket of the journal just for like notes and things like that. I also have some fiber, some seam binding. You can use ribbon or twine or elastic, whatever you want. I got these from Temu, but I brought in this pack because it had really great colors for this. And then a corner rounder and a circle punch. And I'm using about a 2-inch circle punch as well for this. And this is just to notch out the pocket whenever I add one to the inside of my journal. So first, just to kind of get this out of the way, I'm going to glue this 4x4-inch square to the 4 1/4 square cardstock, just so I have this ready to go. And then as far as my white paper, my copy paper, I'm just going to fold it in half and again, get this out of the way. So these are super easy steps. You could do it at any point, but I'm going to just do it right now. If you wanted to kind of even out that side, you could with your paper trimmer. I am just going to fold it and not worry about the edges being a little bit uneven. Then what I'm going to do is from the base, I'm going to put the base to the side, the right-hand side, and I'm going to cut basically from the top of the paper. So I'll be cutting on the side 9 inches on that longer side that has the branding strip. So my journal cover will be 12 inches wide by 9 inches high. So again, just make sure your base is to the side and then cut 9 inches. That extra scrap, you definitely want to save it. You could turn it into journal pockets. There's a couple different projects you could do. I used it for my previous project for scratcher saving challenges. I talked about that in my last couple of videos. So, but you really can use it for just about anything. You could also use it to decorate or to add additional layers into your journal. So you're going to just fold this cover in half on the 12-inch side. So that way you basically have a folded 9x6. And so once you fold that, it'll look just like this, kind of in half. And this is the size of journal that I did for these. And then I'm going to take my paper and just kind of show you, here's what it'll look like once you have this sort of inserted in. Now I am going to round my corners. This is optional, but I'm going to use my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper, and I'm going to round it at the 1/2 inch size corner rounder. Again, using this little tool. So I'm just going to do the 2 outside edges. I'm not going to do the ones that are by the folded side. Those I'm going to keep them flat. And then when you add your paper, you see how you really don't have to round your paper itself. You've got plenty of kind of wiggle room and border around that. But if you wanted to round your papers, you could. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly glue my little cut apart combination to the front from my cover. Just again, I'm keeping it so simple here. And so that's what my journal cover will look like. So, and I have my paper. So let's go ahead and take out our seam binding or elastic or ribbon or twine or whatever you have in your stash. You're going to do about 3 inches of the length. So approximately 3 lengths of your spine is what you want. And I'm going to do just a tiny bit extra just because this sort of seam binding is sort of thick. And I want to make sure that I have plenty to actually tie a quick little bow. Don't lose your white paper like I almost did. Go ahead and insert it into your journal and then look for the inside of those folded papers. Add your seam binding, having it stick out towards the top a little bit, and then just sort of run it along the spine. And then I personally like to tie a little bow at the very top just to make it super easy. If you're using elastic, you could do your ties on the inside, or if you're using twine, you could do your ties on the inside. I am just, again, I like the little frilliness of the bow at the top, so that's what I'm doing with this little project. And so that is basically our journal. I'm going to add a quick little pocket as well. What's neat about this is it's a flow journal, so you can add whatever you want. It's nothing is stuck inside this journal. If you wanted to, you could always come back and seal those seams by, making it more permanent. So I have this little cut apart. I'm going to round this corner that's going to be exposed to that little corner section that was also rounded. And then I'm going to add a little notch to the top of this. So I'm using that 2-inch punch, and I'm going to do about 1/4 of the punch, maybe about 1/3 of the punch to the very top center, and then I'm gonna put my thumb where that notch is at, and I'm gonna glue the other 3 sides. So I'm gonna add glue to the other 3 sides, just a little bit of wet glue. You always want wet glue because wet glue will permanently dry, as opposed to double-sided tape stays continuously wet and your cut aparts and things could get stuck on them. But the wet glue will permanently dry and you won't have to worry about things getting stuck inside your pocket. So then the last step is optional. You could just add some cut aparts. And again, I took out those cut aparts that had the little journaling spots because I thought that would be fun inside of the pocket. So this is our journal. It's so super easy. You could add another pocket to the back if you wanted. You could also do a belly band, especially with that scrap that you had left over. You could add glue to the top and the bottom of that, cut it down to 9 inches. You could also use it to make 2 pockets. You could also technically fold, instead of cutting it down to 9 inches, you could fold over that flap. But again, this was just an easy flow journal inspired by my friend Tobey. And it's flow because it's not stuck. You can move things in and out. See, you see how this paper will kind of come in and out. You can add to your heart's content, and then when you're ready to make it permanent, you absolutely can, or you could just leave it like this. These are so quick and easy to make. If you check out Tobey's channel, I'll link her channel down below. She definitely goes all out on these. I made it very, very simple today, but I just wanted to show you that it can be done very, very simply. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Happy crafting.